P's irritated.
Yeah. I know P is irritated, but on a very serious note, you did send something to the chat that is important that we really got to get into. You sent the news report that came from NBC, and they talked about the cuts that they've been making, specifically the cuts that they've been making to minority news reports. They had specifically NBC Black covering Black stories. They had NBC Latino. They had NBC Asian American, and they had NBC Out, which was covering stories for the LGBTQ community. All of them have been disbanded, and you take that, you look around the global climate, you see what's happening in America with the erasure of Black history from textbooks, from museums. I think now more than ever, it's critically important that Black people find ways to tell our own Black stories through our own mediums somehow, some way.
I agree, man. I mean, you have to have a conversation that media is the fourth arm of the government.
Facts.
I'd also argue that it's probably the most powerful of the four.
Sure.
Because just last week or 2 weeks ago, they came out with a study that said, America's sliding into illiteracy, right? And if you're only getting responses of government or law or from media, you're not reading those policies, you're not going back to understand what they're talking about, so you're taking everything at face value, right? So if you do not have a voice that speaks directly for and to your community, you'll be lost, right? And if you have a misunderstanding of the language, you can't follow the conversation.
All right, so Pete, like everything is there. Every time there's a problem, there's an opportunity. I look at this and we talk about Chicago being the Mecca of Black America, of America in general. The history of Black media in this country, right? You talk about getting the Great Migration up to Chicago and how we would get that out.
And the value of the defender and making it happen.
The value of the defender. With that being said, bro, I think we should go ahead and have a Chicago Black Media Day. I think we should honor Mr. Robert Abbott, defender, by doing it around his birthday, February 28th. I think we should get different conglomerates, different media from Black Chicago around the city, all y'all podcasters, different news platforms from around the city. We're going to reach out to y'all, try to get y'all invited, but just come together, have a day where we can build, we can grow, we can bounce ideas off each other and just kind of vibe out and support Black voices in this time when everybody's trying to erase them.
I think that's a dope idea, man. I think there's power in alignment.
Yeah.
Right? I said earlier, I think there's some dangers to having a homogenized society.
Right.
Right. So I'm with it. Let's lead the charge.
Let's do it, man. We're going to have a Black Media Day. Make sure y'all get into it. Make sure y'all follow the page, support the movement. We're going to have a Black Media Day at the top of 2026. Make sure y'all get involved, man.
Again, that's February 28th.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
it's dope. Done.
It's done deal.
It's done,
We've
man.
decided.
It's done, man. No competition, no petty beefs. We all gonna get together and rock out, man. So if you got a platform, tap in. If you don't, make sure you support what we got going on for it. A lot of things we got to get into today, man. We're going to continue to talk about...
man, before we get into anything, man, yeah. I'm happy to see you, nigga.
Shit, I'm happy to be seen, boy. What they say is better to be seen than viewed.
Hey, man, the only thing worse than getting old is not getting old. You hear me?
Hey, I was finna be viewed, my boy.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
It is just...
I was going to talk about your ass, too.
I was going to talk about
motherfucker. You dumb ass.
Didn't I tell you? Hey, nah, for real, though. I was on checkout mode. I was on deck. I was on the short list, Joe. Thank God for, blessings and favor.
And being late for airports. You know what I'm saying? Had to run your little ass a little bit. Warned the shit out you.
Man, dog. So I've been telling y'all, I've been feeling like not right for like a couple months and just not being able to sleep.
And it was something other than like the drugs.
What drugs?
Whatever the drugs did you use out?
I don't do no drugs. Oh, I drink alcohol. I don't do no drugs.
That's a drug. Still a drug, motherfucker.
Whatever.
Okay.
Point is, I haven't been feeling right for like a couple months, man. But I'm stubborn. I'm a Black man. I'm alright. I'm cool. I'm gonna keep it pushing. Fortunately, it got to a point where I was like, nah, I gotta go to the doctor. Like, I felt faint in the airport. Left. I was supposed to be getting on the flight to go to Baltimore for the Bears-Ravens game. Left the airport. Went to the hospital. Checking the hospital, they say my blood pressure was 220 over 152, dog. The lady looked at me like I was some type of alien, some type of medical marvel. Like, how you standing here having this conversation with me?
It's not like you some kind of medical marvel, motherfucker. It was some kind of.
They were saying all of these numbers, man. They ran a battery of tests. They said all these numbers was coming back off the chart, way beyond that of stroke levels, heart attack levels, all this stuff. They're like, you don't have like extreme massive headaches right like all day long. I'm like, nah. They're like, you don't get like blurred vision or you don't feel dizzy when you. I'm like, nah, I feel pretty much cool. I just don't really feel right enough for me to come in here to see what was going on. So they was great, man. Shout out to the whole medical team. They was dope. They did a bunch of tests. They kind of knew what was going on. Even the triage nurse was like, she blew me. She was like, so you sleep with a bunch of pillows, don't you? I was like, what? She was like, listen to what you're saying and seeing your blood pressure. She's like, I bet you sleep with a bunch of pillows because when you lay flat, you feel like you're finna drown, don't you? And I'm like, yeah, every time I lay down, I can't catch my breath. That's really the main thing that's bringing me in here. And she's like, that's because it's fluid around your heart. And long story short, man, I was in the hospital for about 4 days. They ran a battery of tests, figured out what was what I need to do, and essentially, I got to change everything from diet to drinking to my sleep habits to my exercise. It was all fucked up. All my levels was like super, super, super off the chain. They was like, man, you literally walking around here ticking time bomb, not knowing it. They said I was asymptomatic. They said all this shit you got, you should have extreme symptoms.
I don't know if this is men or if this is me.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking while you was talking.
Yeah.
I've been in that same situation probably 3 times.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And while I'm in there, I be like, I'm never doing.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop.
Yeah.
Hey, did I do it?
No more cocaine.
2 weeks in, I stopped the coke, right? For like 2 weeks. Then that 3rd week, I'll be like, where's the coke?
Where's the coke, man? Well, I'm on my 2nd week, man. I ain't had a drink. I've only had fruits and vegetables. I got a customized plan from Plant-Based African. Shout out to brother Sadiq.
Salute to Sadiq. Right now, we got to share that. We got to share that customized plan because I'm going to customize it with you. I'm going to do it with you.
All right, man.
No more coke for either.
It's been a thing, man. So I'm trying to lower my blood pressure. They got me on some blood pressure pills right now, which I hate taking pills. I don't really do that for no reason. So I'm trying to get off these.
They say that high blood pressure fuck with your dick. I would just say this.
The blood pressure pills supposedly fuck with you.
Yeah, you got to get off that.
Yeah, I got to get off that immediately.
Don't fuck with your dick, you get healthy. That's what that does.
Immediately.
That's what that does.
But they said I've been like that for like at least a year or 2 with my blood pressure running that high. They said it was so bad and so high that like they couldn't bring it down. So he's like, I could bring your blood pressure down right now to normal levels, 130, 140, whatever. He's like, if I bring it down, you're gonna be fucked up in here. He was like, cause your body's used to running at this 200 plus shit, and he ain't lying. Cause now that my shit is coming down, I just feel
you like one of them old ass cars, the carburetor all fucked up. You fix the carburetor and all the other shit.
Right? Like, no, we liked it like we got used to running like that.
We used to running like this.
I got used to. I
used to hate that shit. I would fix this shit. The rest of the car die.
I got used to running on Max, and now this trying to run on something else is a little different. It's a little different, but I'm committed to it, man. I'm grateful. I'm blessed to have had the wake up call that came in the form of a minor scare as opposed to a major scare. Like they said, all my shit was above stroke and heart attack level. So I'm thankful. I'm thankful for everybody, all my family and friends for the love and support through it. People who's pulling up on me at the hospital, everybody was calling and checking on me. Everybody been continuing to do that. So I'm straight, man, but I'm
laughing and joking, nigga, but you love, man, and that's important, right?
Yeah.
And we want you here, we need you here. And there is a larger conversation at play here.
Yeah.
Right? And I be joking around with this shit and I gotta stop doing it. And I do it a lot. But I'll be talking to motherfuckers and I'll be like, well, black men die at 65, so I only got so much years left. And I say it so casually. And everybody I say it to be like, yeah, why are you saying that? But I say it because it's real.
1, it's true, and 2, we laugh through trauma. That's kind of how we get through shit. That's kind of
how we deal, right?
Yeah.
But partially, even in the health ailments that I've always had, and I'm learning more about new shit, like we don't give credence to how stress plays into that.
Yeah.
Right? We opened up the conversation today talking about the possibility of a Black Media Day and the influence of media in our lives.
Right.
And if you think about that and the messages that are attached to what it means to be a Black man through that lens, the messages that we encourage in our daily lives, like there's a study I heard about just this weekend about the changes in African American male life after 4th grade. Mm-hmm. Like 4th fucking grade is when you become a man. Through the lens of everybody else in the world via how media portrays us, right? So third grade, you cute and cuddly, and a year later, you're fucking
you yummy.
Robert Sandifer, absolutely. You understand what I'm saying? And it's amazing when you think about what's that? Fourth grade is what, 11?
Yeah, 10.
Right. So if you make it to 65, and that's the joking conversation or the baseline.
Yeah.
Right. So
actually,
for 55 years of your life, you're seen through this lens as a threatening person, no matter what the fuck. In every capacity, right? And we talk a lot about diet, we talk a lot about exercise, but stress kills more than all that shit. And we don't even give stress its valid credence. You know what I mean?
Because it's kind of the default setting. It's shit going on. I'm dealing with this, dealing with that, dealing with that. We don't view it necessarily as stress, but there are physical ramifications of it. And I'm talking about the external physical, like the aches and the pains, but the internal is insane. And so, just got to deal with all that. Be more aware of it, man. If y'all anything like me, brothers, man, and y'all ain't been to the doctor since who knows when, get in there, get checked out. It's better to know. I know sometimes shit we don't even be wanting to know, but it's better to at least know, and then you can
and get up with some deep, right? Get that real food plan, man, because that's part of it too, right? And even just having that real food plan kind of alleviates some of the internal stresses.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm blessed, man. So it's gonna be all good. Appreciate everybody, but it's gonna be straight. It's just different, but it's all good.
On another note, man, salute the Big Bank Bella, my baby girl, man.
Bank.
She's down there in Texas kicking ass.
Bank.
She just made the almost honor roll. You know what I'm saying? She had a dirtbag ass teacher that gave her a 1 point away from a BC.
Oh.
Yeah, you're a dirtbag.
Come on.
That's some dirtbag shit. But okay, we salute you too.
Give us something to strive for. Whatever.
Oh, fuck that strive for. I just measure if the white kid had a 79, he'd got to be.
Now Bank knows she ain't white.
The light skin shit don't work.
It don't work. Shout out to Bank, man. Keep doing your thing as usual. Wow. Shout out to y'all for tuning in to this episode of Herb and Two. By now you should know that it's Toussaint Warner. I am Herb Howard. This is where we get together. We talk about issues that currently impact the black community, how they impact us individually, more importantly, how they impact us collectively. Thank y'all so very much for choosing to tune in and be a part of the conversation. As always, your input is valued. Certainly appreciate it. Leave as many comments as you want. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, and share the broadcast. We would greatly, greatly appreciate you sharing it with at least one person that you think would find value in or add value to this particular conversation. Again, this is Herb and Two. It is intellectual thuggery at its absolute finest. Again, my name is Herb. His name is Two. Two, what we getting into today, my brother?
All things politics, all things blackmail, all things, I don't know, man. Whatever the fuck we talking about?
Man, your boy 45/47. He's a wild one, man. Listen, by the time it's come out, y'all know already that the mayor of New York,
Zohan Mandani.
Yeah, man. And we're off.
That's his mama. That's how his mama would say it.
Mama named Clay.
Mama didn't
I'm gonna call him Clay.
Yeah, that's how his mama said. Rahan, come here.
So
get that room clean.
With that election having been this past Tuesday, that weekend before that, Trump was on 60 Minutes, and he was like, "Listen, if he wins, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get federal funding to New York. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to do that when they got a communist socialist guy. He doesn't look better than me. Like he's such a wild nigga. He said all of that, G.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I watched some of that, man. I couldn't take too much of it.
It's tough. It's tough to deal with, but it's like.
But I think that election is very intriguing though.
Yeah.
Because it speaks so much more about America than it does about Trump. Mm-hmm. Like if you really pay attention, what was interesting about it, and I spoke to this, I don't know what pod we was on when I talked about Bernie Sanders doing Meet the Press, and he openly said some of the issues with the Democratic Party. Like you would never hear a Democrat specifically speak to some of the irrational and tax evading and all these kind of real right-wing philosophies that really lie in the Democratic Party too. Bernie Sanders made mention of it. It was just so abnormal that it struck me that he said that shit.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, damn, man, that's interesting. Because when they start talking like that, you got to ask what's behind that. right? Because you usually protect the line with everything,
Yeah.
right? So if you paid attention to the New York election, the Democratic Party didn't get behind Zohan,
Right.
right? Not Donald Trump. Obama came out maybe like a week ago, had some engaging or respectful words for Zohan, but he didn't get behind him.
No.
Right, and then they ran another candidate against him.
Yeah.
Right, it was 2 Democrats.
A more popular
Republicans.
candidate. They ran
Cuomo.
Right.
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 Now, but they did that to protect the capitalist class. So if you pay attention, you saw the media, you saw both parties going against this man, right? A man that was polling at a very high level, i.e., back to what I always tell everybody, Bernie Sanders won the election that Biden was elected in.
Right.
We don't do the math. He legitimately won that election, right? Well, he won the primaries that would have allowed him the opportunity to run against, who was it, Trump? Was it Trump at that time?
But the Dems was like...
But you don't, that democratic socialist philosophy is anti-Wall Street and anti-capitalist, right? So but they quietly moved him out the way, and Bernie still held the line, right? He never denounced the Democratic Party. He never said nothing negative, right?
Yeah.
We watched the same thing at a very smaller level in regards to a mayoral election, right? And it's very interesting that that is happening in these times, and that the people still banded together and elected this man, right? And there's conversations about what he can and can't do, and quite honestly, there's a lot of shit that he ain't gonna be able to do, right? But he did kind of run on a socialist. I hate that they even say democratic socialist. What the fuck is that?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So he ran on a very socialist platform, right? Which is not a negative thing. Like they've got, because we running into illiteracy.
Talk about we don't read, right?
We don't read. Like they demonize words and people go with it, right? I heard somebody, just pay attention to the lexicon of recent, and they'd be like, we slipping into fascism, and fascist this and fascist that. And the same person who's anti-fascism will say, man, I don't like Antifa. But you only say that because there is no such thing. Antifa's not a real organization, but you don't know what the fuck Antifa means.
Right.
The very acronym of Antifa is anti-fascism, you fucking dummy. Right? So on one hand, I don't fuck with fascists, then I don't fuck with Antifa. Well, how can it be both?
Right.
Right? But I say all this to say, man, the people of New York band together and say, hey, man, we're kind of for these socialist philosophies, right? And I had a very interesting back and forth today with a cat named Brian Mullins, and Brian Mullins is kind of local rabble rouser or whatever. And I'm not anti-Brian Mullins. I fuck with Brian Mullins, man. But he had this whole diatribe about why he didn't fuck with Zohan. And I just was like, man, I don't get it. Why don't you fuck with Zohan? And the man called. He was like, he didn't respond. He didn't give me an answer. He's just like, he's a Marxist. Back to language, right? The black radical tradition leveled up and analyzed the Marxist tradition and used a whole lot of strategies to get to where they get to, right? W.E. Du Bois specifically leveraged it. Well, we can go down the line, a few people, that, you know what I mean? So it's just very interesting, like how we use words, and it's just like, because I'm over here or because I'm right, like we stand strong on these ideas as if they're like religious, right? But if we're trying to go somewhere, as a collective, going back to Black Media Day, right? I said earlier that homogenized society is detrimental. When literacy rates fall, you got a white dominant media network, you got a white dominant government. We have a white dominant elected official today that is reinstituting very white dominant ideas. And then we have to bring into perspective that for probably the last 50 years, or even more, right? Uncle Walt said you got to have a zero grade reliance. Right? And if you put in perspective that every institution that we've ever engaged in has these kind of white dominant philosophies, then it'd be very difficult for you to not spew white dominant ideas.
That's why you have a time where he could become mayor, right, of New York City. Because prior to now, there wasn't a mass movement towards going anywhere. If you say if we want to go somewhere, we ain't never wanted to go nowhere. This shit cool with me. Like just keep running that way. We'll be all right. We're gonna run up this money and have these individual pursuits of the American dream, and it's cool. 45/47 come, and now it's like, well, hold on. We better want to go somewhere other than where the fuck this ship is going, because this ship is going to hell in a rocket ship, right? So now everybody's trying to figure out, okay, how we move, how do we pivot, what does this look like? And now anybody that's saying things other than what he's talking about sounds okay to me.
Man,
I can get behind that.
You always said, man, that you said you had voted for Trump in the first election, right?
Yeah,
you
I
said
did.
You voted for him because your mindset was he's gonna fuck the shit up enough that it's gonna force us to kind of unite.
Yeah.
That was a more black-centric conversation, but in reality, he's fucking everybody who's not at the top of the class totem pole.
Yeah, and that's what they had to find that out though. It took them a second election, a second term, to figure out that this ain't just about blacks and Latinos or gays. This is about everybody that's not in this elite
If you ain't
circle.
got it, I don't fuck with you.
I don't fuck with you, and fuck you in totality. They playing in your face all over the place. His son's got the damn company. They in bed with the crypto motherfuckers. He like, I don't know anything about that. You just pardon him. I don't know that man.
Man, he's the great grift, right? He's the greatest grifter we've ever seen, man. It's very interesting though, right? Like I had this conversation today with some younger brothers too, man. And I asked them, I said, hey man, what's the difference between a super elite wealthy person and a homeless person?
Mm-hmm.
Right, the bottom of the barrel of the class structure.
We've had that conversation a lot, yeah.
And they gave me all these reasons, and I was like, man, essentially there's very minimal difference. They both wake up and do what they want to do, right? Then I just asked them a litany of questions, right? Have any of you ever lived outside of your neighborhoods? Maybe the suburbs. Man, a few of them was like, yeah, I lived in the suburbs. And I said, how was your experience in that environment? Do you think that's a better living experience than living in the neighborhood? And unanimously, all of them was like, in all honesty, no, I miss the neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
So the argument I've always had on this show, the argument I've always had just in my personal life, right? We all have this because we've been socialized to be this way, right? We were born into a capitalist system. We think like capitalists because, again, what we say, if you're in these institutions, it's very rare you have another thought, specifically in the world that don't read, right? So you're not challenging any of the ideas that's being fed to you, right? So the minute you start challenging those ideas, though, you start seeing them break down and you start changing values. You know what I mean? The greatest value, the universal law, the greatest value on this planet is love, right? And in a very racialized, homogeneous society again, right? You go to any gym or any lunchroom at lunchtime in any high school, you're going to see the athletes sitting together.
Facts.
You're going to see the hip-hop heads sitting together.
Yeah.
You're going to see the bougie girls sitting together. You know what I mean? Right? It's very cliquey, right? So in that uniform or in that neighborhood or in that community where you are seen is where you're going to find love.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get it nowhere else. And at the core, that's what we all want, right? But we all lie to ourselves and says money is what's going to attach us to value. So that's how the hamster wheel works. It keeps you chasing an idea that's not even never going to be afforded you.
No, I mean, you look at a great example from here would be Ye, right? Ye worked his ass off to get to the status in the music industry. Through his great work, he earns money and fame and loses himself. And then he starts this process of retracing back to how can I get back to when I was just in the basement making tracks with all my people from the crib. And that's like, oh, fly all of them out to Wyoming for this album and I can get that feeling back so I can fucking create again the way I want to. It's like, yeah, but how can we do that on the front end to where we don't even get lost in the bullshit, to where we don't have porn star wife that's fucking up all your shit, to where we don't have, you know what I mean, like all this extra shit when it was like, bro, you was cool just in the crib making music, doing your shit. Now you, who the fuck knows, and you trying to find your way back to your truest self. I think all of this shit gets us lost. I think all of this shit about picking teams and sides and political parties and this, that, and the third, all of that shit gets you lost. And at the end of the day, none of that shit matters, man. None of that shit matters. You talked about the stresses and the health, and I'm laying up in the fucking hospital bed all week, and all the shit that matters is just my people that I love, people that love me, and that kind of shit. And everybody like, man, fuck this, right? Like, just time out for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Let's get you right. And I'm like, well, I got to get back to the Bears, and I got to get back to the pod. And everybody like, hey, cool out. How the fuck is you doing type shit? And that, you just sit there in that shit. I ain't had nothing else to do. You just sitting there in that shit like, this is the shit that matters. This is the shit that's really fucking important. And everything else, at the end of the day, is just like, It's just some shit.
Yeah, man. Salute to Zohan, right? I'm grateful that he got elected more because it kind of exposes the narrative
I like it.
how everybody's in cahoots. There's another thing too that
Mix that
came
shit
out
up,
the
man.
day after he was elected. The New York Times kind of had, I can't remember the title of the article.
Oh yeah.
But it was something about how
About him?
they've slipped into communism or something like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
But again, we got to start doing our research back to why black media is important, why journalism itself is important, right? Because what you do is that was wild over there. But what you do is what you do is when you understand what the New York Times is, you pull back the layers and you realize that it's owned by one of the tech bros, right?
That's what I'm about to say.
It's a business play.
So I'm about to say, you talk about journalism at its core. I don't know how much journalism.
What are we doing here? We just gonna avoid that. This is crazy. I can't even think straight. Goddamn.
Hey, it's going down out here in the studio right now. Speaking of which, also,
I lost my whole train of fucking thought. I had a whole point.
Speaking of which, also on the Black Voices, man, we trying to do our part to amplify Black Voices too, to give people spaces to create and get their own thoughts out. So if you got something that you want to say and you want to get out, the Herb and Two Studios are available. Email us at intellectualthuggery@gmail.com, intellectualthuggery@gmail.com. If you have, whether it's a podcast or a vlog or whatever it is you want, you need a space to amplify your voices, shoot us an email. We'll set something up and figure something out, man. So that's also available to y'all as we just, try to continue to amplify Black voices and Black stories.
Is that commercial break?
Had to take a commercial break because y'all bugging.
That's definitely a commercial break.
Y'all bugging.
That nigga was in bear mode. I am in a pure coma. Oh, God.
Hey, they also asked Trump, they said, yo, the lady that was interviewing him, she said, you were talking about, the immigration and, having ICE out in the street and you send them to these communities. He was like, well, now you got, they're dispersing tear gas in communities when it's not called for. They're breaking people's car windows, snatch people out. They beat up a lady or shot a lady or something. She was like, do you think that this is like going a little too far now? He was like, no, I don't think it's gone far enough. We need to go further.
So check this out. I don't know how to feel about this.
The
FBI just kind of released the kind of get out of jail free card on the motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting, right? Because if you think about the three-letter word, right, they're kind of like a lawful, unlawful group.
ICE.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? They don't have uniforms. They don't drive around in marked cars. They don't
identify
themselves.
They got masks on.
So what's been happening is that criminals have been dressing up like them and kidnapping people.
I had that thought last week. I probably was late with it.
They've been dressing up like them, sexually assaulting women.
Oh, that's
They've
terrible.
been dressing up like them and taking advantage of society. Now, because of that, the FBI has issued a code that says basically, you don't know who the fuck these people are
Bust
coming
back
to
at
grab
them
you.
people.
Do whatever you got to do to not go. Bust back. Now, I'm with that theoretically.
In theory.
In theory.
In practice.
Because if you bust back and it's them for real,
the next thing
what you
that she asked
give them
Trump,
is the keys.
probable cause to send the military
right,
to this motherfucker.
To having a real war on American soil.
Which is what he wants.
kind of what he wants.
Which is exactly what he
It's a
wants.
very interesting paradigm.
She asked him that specifically about sending the military. And she was like, you would send the military into American cities? He was like,
yeah.
Absolutely, I will.
And let's go a step further. These are all thoughts I've been having, right? Trump is rogue.
Mm-hmm.
He's
gone.
He's
out
gone,
the box.
right? He's mentally disabled in the first place.
That's facts.
Right? So whoever is driving the car or playing the joystick, they're rogue. Because he's not smart enough to think of the things he's been doing. And at some level, they are strategic for his goal.
100%.
They're very strategic for his goal.
100%.
Right? Well, one of the things I thought about was, since its inception, the Supreme Court's value, its real value has been predicated on honor.
Right.
There's nothing to enforce anything that the Supreme Court says.
Right.
They're not backed by an army. They're not backed by a police force. They're not backed. They're only backed by honor. And because he is who he is, we have to believe that he has the rogue mentality to not honor something they would say.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once you think about how this plays, right? If they were to implement or bring into law any idea, whatever, we could just randomly think of one
Sure.
that is against whatever his platform or his philosophy is, and he decides, hey, I ain't honoring that.
Right.
Right? What he does is he dismantles the whole idea of American government.
Sure.
Right? Now, if I'm the Supreme Court and I know this, what do I do?
Well, first of all, he's put so many justices in place that he's not even concerned with them being adverse to what he's on. They all are appointed, lifetime appointments. You want that? Okay, cool. This is what we on. Okay, cool. This is what we're on. And they're going to win it every time by at least a 5-4 vote just based on who has been placed in position to do it.
But even without his appointees, let's say he doesn't appoint anyone. He could appoint nobody on that fucking court.
Mm-hmm.
What does the Supreme Court have to do? Because the answer is the same when I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
They have no choice but to anticipate how radically crazy his ass is and go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the minute they go against it and he decides, hey, I ain't fucking with that, he dispels the entire concept of government and they have to uphold it.
This is what I've been saying since 2015. He is uniquely qualified, ignorant enough, arrogant enough to bring the whole thing crashing down. The problem with it this time is, as it goes deeper, right, is that he's hoping that happens, right? So when you cut off food benefits, right, and you implement all of these different policies to create chaos, ICE and the like, you're hoping that this boils over to a point. You get the FBI. You dismantled the FBI from their power structure and leadership as soon as you got there. So now them all your people too. So, okay, put it out there. Yeah, y'all can bust at them because fuck them too. Let's be clear, ICE. While y'all running to get these goofy ass jobs and y'all running these communities like y'all on some shit, fuck y'all too from Donald Trump. I hope y'all kill one of them motherfuckers. I can't wait for y'all to kill one of them motherfuckers because it's going to create more chaos. It's going to give me more reason to bring in
more leverage to have a third term.
And then he's going to implement a policy that we cannot have an election amidst this level of chaos, where everybody running the grocery store stealing food, where everybody's shooting at fucking law enforcement agencies. Like, he wants the fucking chaos. So if it comes to that with the Supreme Court, all the better. The more chaos I can create, all the fucking better. I'm on my back end of life anyway. All I'm doing is stacking money and getting the fuck about it. I don't give a fuck about the chaos. So all the people that think I'm on his side, he ain't on nobody's side. He do not give a single solitary fuck.
Up that $1 billion a month.
That's it. He don't give a fuck about none of that shit. He can't wait for one of you stupid ass ICE motherfuckers to get shot in the fucking head somewhere.
This shit is very interesting, man. At some levels, there's lessons to be learned that I think are valuable, specifically from the Black radical tradition, right? One of the things I said early on, specifically in his first term about the January 6th move, and it was like all this backlash around January 6th. I think those people was led by the wrong idea, but I think the action was the right action, right? That is how you control government, right? When government begins to act rogue, it is the people's duty to get them back in check.
Responsibility to send it up.
It's just responsibility, right? But we don't think like that. To your point earlier, when I said like where are we going, and we might be going anywhere, we're comfortable. This is it's already become very uncomfortable, right? We looking at companies laying off thousands of motherfuckers every day.
Yeah.
Right? Every day. And I've been hearing these reports about, this is the effects of AI. No, the fuck it isn't. Yeah. This is the effects of a failing economy.
Yeah.
AI has not been implemented into corporate society at that level this fast.
Right.
Right? This is the effects of a failing economy where the value of the dollar is dropping 1% per month. That is so rapid that we should all be alarmed.
No, it's insane. And you got, all these government workers not getting paid. You got, I didn't even know this about the military. A friend of mine said she was
get paid either.
Coming back on a flight and sat next to somebody in the military. Was like, shit, I was coming back for a birthday party or something, retirement something, and it was kind of hard for me to get here because we ain't getting paid right now, but I know I'm gonna be reimbursed. And it's like, you know that?
That's how foolish we are.
It's like if they can go at any moment and say, no, we're not paying all these government workers now, you know for sure one day they're gonna be like, all right, give them back every penny they owe.
Man, you know what's interesting, and this goes back to
I don't know. I hope so.
I had a unique experience this last week, and it wasn't like nothing specific. It was the end of the SNAP benefit conversation.
Mm-hmm.
That was my unique experience. I don't utilize the SNAP benefit program. I don't know how the shit works, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you start hearing the backlash, specifically from our community, we were the loudest, even though we're not the people who benefit the most from SNAP.
Right.
Right?
That's a myth.
Right. But we're the loudest community, right? And I started to ask myself, like, damn, y'all didn't know this was coming? He been talking about this shit for the last probably 5 years, because it's not even, that's not a new concept, right? He's also about to attack housing. They're talking about that right now. He's talking about government subsidies in general, right? He's moving away from the proletarian ideas. I'm getting the money, motherfucker, and all of my people, I eat back to this elite oligarchy classes kind of concept.
Yeah, man.
We're here to get our bag. And anything that's anti our bag, well, fuck you. But the unique idea was like, damn, we don't hear these messages until it has a direct effect on our lives. And I said we, but I'm assuming this is the vast majority of Americans.
They've boarded up the grocery store on 71st and Jeffrey. It's boarded up with plywood.
I saw that. I was wondering why that was.
I
didn't even think about it like that.
It ain't because every single one of those windows is broke.
None of the windows is broke. I was in there. I was like, what the fuck is it boarded up for?
They've boarded it up because the anticipation is people are going to have to steal food.
I swear to God, I was just in there and I had that thought, like, why are all this shit boarded up?
Yeah, they've increased security, armed security in there.
I ain't shopping in that motherfucker ever again. Fuck them people.
They've increased armed security in there. There's a trend going around social media. It's just like, if you see people stealing food, no, you didn't. You know what I mean? Like, if you see somebody stealing food, no, you didn't. Shut the fuck up and let them have their fucking food. But this is the chaos.
That grocery store specifically is a co-op.
Yeah.
It's a fucking community bulk grocery store. That's a problem, G. I didn't even recognize that's what that was for.
Boarded up plywood on all the
I recognize
windows.
that.
Yeah.
I thought somebody. So the detail lot down the street, motherfuckers did try to crash through the wall to get to gym shoes. So when I saw the boys, I said, right.
Gonna crash through the wall and get the eggs and milk.
Yeah, get some eggs and milk. Damn, I didn't even think about it.
No, it's wild, man. It's the level of chaos that he's creating intentionally, deliberately. But you know, it's the old philosophy and saying, you know, eventually the poor ain't gonna have nothing to eat except the rich. And then they're gonna come down the motherfucking streets. Like, and so, you know, you can only push a motherfucker so far.
But chaos is also a ladder, right? And depending on how you look at it, there could be extreme opportunity inside of this. And I see it already, right? It's the same kind of opportunity that came out of COVID. It's the same kind of opportunity that comes out of any chaos, right? We had a very unique experience during COVID where there was this kind of collective idea of just survival as Americans, right? If you paid attention just to the energy and the feeling, it was a different energy and feeling. You know what I mean? It was some love fest shit for real, right? And that's value. But the minute we get out of that, and the world legitimately changed during COVID, right? You saw nature kind of healing itself. You saw conversations change, and you saw people lying through their teeth, saying they had found the value in being human, in being.
Right.
And then they got an opportunity to go back outside. And it's like, watch me start on these bitches now. Right back to the game.
Back.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's that same kind of environment, man, where you're going to have such turmoil that you're going to have the opportunity to create a new philosophy. What's important is that those who have value or who understand value, what's the moniker? Those who are called rarely come. Those who come are rarely called.
Yeah.
Those who have been called, it's your time to come.
Yeah, you have to. And what would you even want to rebuild? I think most people, even at the bottom of the current structure, I don't think, given the opportunity, they would build something else. They would just put themselves at the top. You know what I mean? Like,
that's the fear.
It's not like, okay, here's an opportunity to change all of this shit where you don't have 1% with 99% of the wealth and then everybody else fighting for the last percent. It's like, no, just put me in the 1%.
I don't think black people are different in context to how we think from a capitalist frame. I think we think very similar to white folks in that context. But I think we think about love differently than white folks.
Sure.
Right? So we're very accepting of everybody, and we really don't want to see nobody down. Even when we stunt on you, it's not the same kind of stunt on you that a white man does.
Yeah.
Right? That's a malicious stunt.
It's a different stunt.
It's a very different stunt.
That is a different.
You know what I'm saying?
So I'm look. I'm at Hallis Holiday. I ain't gonna say nobody's name. I'm at Hallis Holiday, right?
Say his name.
No.
Whisper in my ear. I said. You know I said it.
So I'm sitting there. It's a white person. No, actually, of course, these are white people.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
You look like a period in a sentence.
Yeah. One come sit down right here to my right, and he like, it was a conversation going on about birthdays and yada yada yada. But anyway, he goes, here's another interesting fact, because the person to my left was like, you know, if you're in a room with at least 23 people, there's a better than 50% chance that at least 2 of those people have the same birthday. Some weird shit. But whatever. He was like, here's another interesting fact. He was like, you know, you talk about like generations. If you set generation as like 25 years and then so on and so forth. He said, if you go back 5, 6 years, your mother, her mother, her mother, her mother. I said, I gotta stop you right there. I'm a black American. I don't know shit about that many fucking generations back. And they was like, I was like, yeah, the little American experiment, y'all kind of ran around here. I can't go back past my mother's 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 mother. It's done for me after that. You know what I'm saying?
It's done for me after my mother's mother.
I mean, yeah, but I'm saying like literally you can't fucking do it.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It's like yeah, I can't. This little experiment you about to run, you can leave me out of it because that is.
And they would chattel.
Yeah, like that don't work for me.
They might have came from a breeding farm.
Somewhere your mother's mother's mother told my mother's mother's mother to get the fuck out, rape, go over there, sell you over there, sell you over there. So sorry for your little experiment.
Yeah, that's some real shit, man. Very interesting.
Yeah, man.
Hey, on another note, man, what's up with Chauncey Billups?
Chauncey, he's a tweak. I don't know, man.
Is he though? And why is he the face of the biggest gambling soiree ever in the history of mafia ties? Why ain't the mob tied to this shit?
Why would they make you the face in the first place? Because when and if it crashes, somebody has to take the fall. Nigga, it's going to be you. It's not going to be the mob.
Put our hands just high in the air to take the fall, though. We love taking the fall.
Yes, he's been the face of it. They've been calling this the Chauncey Billups game. He don't even be there. He don't even be there. He don't be playing.
Chauncey Billups ain't never bought an X-ray table.
You want to get in the, you want to play in the Chauncey Billups poker tournament?
Poker tournament.
Yeah,
Ooh, Lord.
everybody play, and it's $200,000 to get in, and it's.
Yeah, man, that's so foul.
My thing is, what do they got on you, or what has been the threats to you for you to stay in there? Chauncey Billups made $100 million in the league. Dude. Like, it's not the money. It's not a gambling addiction itself. It's crazy strong.
It's crazy, and it's a thing in the league.
Yeah. Oh, it's
a thing.
It's super wild in the league. It's many untold stories about the gambling in the league and how that shit goes.
Mike done bought plenty of motherfucking yachts in Las Vegas.
Oh man, Mike is a fool on the gambling side. But it's just like Chauncey Billups get involved in that. You get Terry Rozier, who's still playing or was still playing, involved in this shit. And it's like, bruh, what you doing, man? What you doing? And Terry Rozier, he just telling his homies like, hey, what's my over under? They got you to get 6 assists today. All right. When I get 3 assists, my knee hurt. I'm out. So y'all niggas put 100,000 on the under, and trust me, it won't. I'm like, hey, my guy, unnecessary, uncalled for. But I don't know what the league thought was gonna happen when they started legalizing betting, and now everything you see is gambling apps, and ESPN got one, and everybody got one, and it's like, of course.
But there's an argument too, right? Back to understanding the social paradigm and understanding the environment where you are.
Mm-hmm.
The league didn't necessarily legalize gambling. The government legalized gambling.
Sure.
You understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
And we're going to legalize gambling because we're not creating futures for your children. So the only way they're going to be capable of making money is betting.
Right. Which is not a good way to make money.
Think about how many shorties play them goddamn games as a way of survival.
Nah, it's rampant, and it's in your pocket, and it's every day. And
that's their job.
And it leads to the addiction of it because now you have people who literally cannot watch a sporting event without having some skin in the game monetarily one way or the other. And it's like, yeah, this shit is
It's very interesting.
This shit is it's interesting, man.
It's very interesting.
It's interesting.
Man.
Yeah, the kids are definitely doing it, and all the apps will tell you, we got these things in place to prevent.
But think about how many people are doing it when there are more people unemployed than there are jobs that exist. Right? Your rent don't stop. You still hungry. How can I get to it? Right? I think you are insane to drive an Uber. Not just because it's a job or because you are taking all of the risk and the company makes all of the money. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, you've always said that.
I've always held to that, right? But it becomes it gets more and more normalized as the economy gets more and more strained.
Hey, when's the last time you had an American Uber driver or
I rarely get in Uber.
Or Uber Eats delivery or
I don't even have that on my phone. I refuse. I won't support slavery, G. I usually get on the train. Last time when I flew to Seattle, that flight was at 5 in the morning. And I was like, man, I'm about to go against my moral
compass.
What's that? And then I said, you know what? No, I'm not.
You took the train at 4 in the morning?
I took the train at 4 in the morning. And let me tell you, that's an experience that I don't want to have ever again. But I'm just going to have to pick later flights.
The train get wild. So I told you before when I finally got ill enough to be like, I'm going to the hospital, I was at the airport. So I leave and I'm at O'Hare and I'm like,
farting, playing music. They just don't give a fuck.
They do whatever.
What the fuck?
They do whatever. I leave, I take the train back. So you walk through O'Hare to get to where the fucking blue line and shit is at. It's a long ass walk. I was weak, I was faint, I was lightheaded. So I'm walking as slow as I can, whatever, trying to get through there. I stop at a vending machine to get a Gatorade. $4.50 for the Gatorade.
Oh, yeah, they gonna get their money.
Number one. $4.50 for the Gatorade out the machine. But anyway, I'm getting on the train. I take the train into the city. I transfer down at Jackson to get on the red line to go south. While I'm on the Jackson platform at the red line, bum dude.
Nigga. That's what I was about to mention. At 5 in the morning, the bum community at the Jackson stop to get on the blue line.
I was insane.
Oh, it was not a living dead, G. It was rats on the train. It was the most uncomfortable
That's where I was at.
Life.
So Buddy walk up to me, and I can see him walk up to me, and I'm telling you, like, I'm trying to present a strong enough to defend myself front, but I don't have it. A little 5-year-old girl could have pushed me right onto them tracks. I couldn't have stopped her, right? But I'm sitting there, so Buddy walking up, and he like, yo, you got? I'm like, nah, I don't got nothing, bro. He like, what about some food? You got some food I can eat? I'm like, nah, bro, I don't, man. He like, well, let me just get that.
What was that?
My 3/4 drinking Gatorade? I'm looking now, I'm like, this man is really fucked up out here. I was like, you know what, man? Normally I would give it to you, but I fucking need this Gatorade. So no, bro. But like,
are they aggressive?
You want this?
What time was
it's
it?
Like this much Gatorade.
What time was it when you got to Jacksonville?
Shit, I don't know. It was the middle of the day. It wasn't 4 in the morning.
Amplify that shit. About 5 in the morning. It was some fuck shit. You hear me? I was in that motherfucker like.
That was wild shit going on, man. It was, and this was in the daytime.
Whoa,
shit. I wouldn't pull it. I wouldn't pull it at 4 in the morning, Joe.
See, it was different. I was like, oh shit, I should have got Uber. This was some bullshit.
And one, I'm not even the person who looks or expects the worst from my people. And two, I'm not really scared of shit like that.
Me either, nigga, but it was different.
It gets spooky.
Niggas always say what they're not gonna do till they got to do it.
Then you down in there, it's like,
man, that shit was not a living dead, man. Them niggas look like zombies for real.
Man,
ooh,
Jack.
Shit.
Man, Jack. It was definitely different. I take the red line at 69th. I get on the 69th Street bus, go out to the tip. It's a lady on the bus. And I don't know what she's talking about or what, but she's just on the phone, on speakerphone, and she's just going off. For the whole time, like, lady, shut the fuck. Like, nobody needs to hear, this bitch, this motherfucker nigga, I'ma fuck him up. And they let his ass out on his own recognizance. They didn't even let me out when they locked me up for who out the bed. we gotta hear this. Like this is what the fucking bus is like. I'm like, man, yeah, she's on the phone over wilding.
No, I was because I was saying, was she talking to herself or was she on the phone?
Nah, she was on the phone. She was on the phone, speakerphone, and you can hear the other person back like, what? Like, yeah,
What?
yeah, that's
What? Say it again, girl.
I'm like, hey, yo,
Man.
this.
Them niggas was talking like that at that train stop with nobody on the phone. It wasn't even
That's why I asked because did I ever tell you about that time? So I was at Macy's on State Street and I was walking through and it was a girl. She was walking and she was snapping like, I'm gonna beat this bitch ass. Da-da-da,
But it wasn't no
and
bitch.
I'm like, dang, who she talking to? She was talking to me. She was talking about
Oh, she was
me.
talking to you?
I'm like, oh, I started looking around like, okay, I'm about to have to hit her with something.
Salute to the homie, man.
Motherfuckers
She
be
was telling
crazy.
the story like he
Out of
just
nowhere.
told us, right? She was like, she walking, this motherfucker talking to herself, loud as hell, acting crazy. And she was like, she didn't know what to do. And she kept getting closer and closer. She said she got up real close. She was just like, happy birthday! Nigga, fell out!
Hey, man, listen. Mental illness is real. These motherfuckers crazy out here.
That's a
dog.
wild boy. What do you say when motherfuckers say happy birthday? You just gotta go with it. That's why I was dying.
It is my birthday.
It
but
is
you-
my birthday.
I don't know, man. All I know is that now more than ever is just critical for people to unite, for people to understand that our petty differences and grievances was always bullshit, but it's definitely bullshit right now. And we had better be about the business of figuring out how to move in a unified way in the face of mass destruction and divisiveness, man. That's designed to bring about the chaos and shit that we seeing. Because right now, the truth ain't out there. It ain't nowhere in none of these motherfucking stories. It ain't coming from the president. It ain't coming from none of this shit. And so we got to be able to tell our own stories. We got to be able to unite and have a real fucking agenda that's thoughtful. Because even the snap thing to be like, man, fuck them. We'll fuck them up. Cool, no problem. Not against that. But then what? Okay, so they roll 10, 15 ICE agents down your street. And then the whole block, 100 deep, 200 deep, come out and get on their head.
They ain't
Cool.
even got to do that, man. You could rob the whole grocery store. They can stop distribution next week and you don't have a grocery store to rob anymore.
Right.
That changed the whole conversation.
So now how do we get to a space where we can figure out all these neighborhoods got these community gardens and shit like that? How do we get to a space where we can start to figure
That's what I was
that
about to say, right?
understanding out?
There's this kind of misnomer, they say oftentimes the conversations we have and conversations that people like us have always just kind of shines light on the problem, and everybody argues that we already know the problem. I argue that you don't know the problem.
Right.
That's one argument I have. But they also say
Shout out to
they
Nelly
never
Fuller.
hinged in solution-based ideas. I think we create solutions all the time. I just think that our ears aren't refined enough oftentimes to understand that that is a solution. Love is a solution.
It is.
It is the solution.
It is.
Right? So what does that look like collectively, right? What does it look like to be able to ask your neighbor to feed your children when they have food to feed your children? What does it look like for you to till the land and them vacant lots to create that garden with your neighbor and everybody having an expectation that we're able to eat off of this? And because it's not going to produce as rapidly as a grocery store, we had to share these resources.
You must.
You know what I mean? What does that really look like? And the answer to being able to kind of secure yourself is love and loving your neighbor.
But I've always talked about self-sustainable communities and building them. And
yeah, because money's gonna be used to heat your house. You can burn that shit.
Yeah, right. Unfortunately, it's gotten to a space where you got to be pushed to build these self-sustainable communities, and sometimes you just got to be pushed to do what you should have been doing in the first place. To educate ourselves, do we have schoolhouses and shit in our own communities? Who works the schoolhouses? Who works the gardens? Who does
security?
Who does security?
Who's all those things?
Who does, you know what I'm saying, the repairs of infrastructure and shit like who does those types of things? And just figure out who in your community likes to do those things. Everybody get together, and if you are on the security team or the education team or the infrastructure team or whatever, then your food is, you don't got to worry about that part of it, right? The food team is handling that part, but the food team don't have to worry about the infrastructure or the education. You know what I'm saying? Your kids can come to the schoolhouse, period. Like, that's just what it is. And so, like,
yeah, understanding that the benefits of you actively operating in that role is not going to be transactional. right?
No.
What you're going to benefit off of is having the gratitude of being a part of real community.
Yeah.
That is the benefit.
Feeling that.
That is the outcome.
Being truly anchored into some shit that you can believe in, that you can sustain, and that you can see the fruits of. So
Real talk.
you know, they pushing it too far, man. We gotta get up out of here. But if you missed the top of the show, make sure you go back to the top of the show. The fuck is wrong with y'all now? Stop bugging. Anyway, man, we are launching the Black Media Day. We're gonna do it at the top of 2026, February. We're looking to bring in all Black media voices throughout the city of Chicago, from places like Defender, WVON, to all the different Black podcasts and conversations that's going on. We will be in touch. If you want to get into them, send us an email, intellectualthuggery@gmail.com. Everybody else, make sure you look out and support what we have going on with that. Before we get out of here, got to give a huge shout out to P.I. for doing all of the hard work behind the camera. Huge shout out to Momager sitting over there in the corner doing all sorts of things. You know, she's added not only manager, not only acai store owner, not only mom, she's now a doctor. Okay.
I saw her reading your prescription.
She comes in here.
I was wondering what the fuck was going on.
She come in here. She's reading my prescription. I'm telling her what I'm taking and why, and she's like, well, I don't think you should be taking that, and you shouldn't be taking it for long. And if you are taking it for long, you should just be taking it for 1 second, and you shouldn't be. Where are your pills? Where are your pills? They're in my book bag.
Ashwagandha.
Right. You do what you need. So she's add doctor to her resume. She does it all. She does it all. Shout out to E4O, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share the show. For two, I'm Herb. Y'all be good to each other. Peace.
Salam alaikum.
Salam alaikum to the mayor in New York City.
Talk about Ron.